Hello, everyone, and welcome to Breastfeeding Class presented by the Breastfeeding Clinic in the Helderberg Base in Cape Town, South Africa. Just a quick disclaimer. The information provided in this program is to assist you in exploring all available options. It's to empower you to make well-informed decisions, to help you feel in control, be responsible for, and have confidence in your choices. Information should please not be substituted for the diagnosis and treatment of any medical condition. And also, please never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have received in this program. And this recording is not intended to replace professional or medical or other kinds of advice. So in a previous recording, number 3 or 4 of Anatomy and Physiology, we looked at the physiology of human milk production. And in this recording, 4 of 4, we will be looking at the feedback inhibitor of lactation and the concept of storage capacity. So let's look at feedback inhibitor of lactation first, or FIL. So remember from a previous recording that milk is made and stored in the alveoli. And remember, we need the hormone prolactin, that yellow triangle, and other hormones to support milk production. But prolactin is one of the main hormones. So the breasts are factories. They're not they're not warehouses. So milk production is continuous. And if there is a demand, the breast will supply. Meaning a baby sucks and stimulates the mother's breast, and a mother's body produces the milk to meet the baby's demand. So the more effectively the baby breastfeeds and removes the milk, the more milk the baby will get, and the more milk the mother's body will make. So milk contains different factors which controls or inhibits milk production as well. Now they are collectively known as the feedback inhibitor of lactation, or FIL. Now FIL may inhibit the uptake of prolactin by the receptor sites, or the prolactin receptor sites. So the light yellow triangles on the inside of the alveoli represent FIL. So there is actually very little understanding of the precise mechanism through which FIL may exert its action, and really we have so much to learn. But basically, the role of the feedback inhibitor of lactation seems to be to regulate the amount of milk produced, which is determined by how much the baby takes, and perhaps how much the baby needs. So if milk is not removed from the breast and the breast is full, the feedback inhibitor of lactation accumulates, and this results in a decrease in milk production. So it's kind of the labor union goes onto a strike because there's too much product, so with a lot of FIL. So why do we need to produce more milk if the factory is already full? So if FIL is then removed from the breast, the inhibitor is also removed, and then the inhibitor levels fall, and then prolactin can come in, that dark yellow triangle, and milk production can increase again. So you can see the amount of milk production depends on how much is removed. So mothers are sometimes told to wait until their breasts are full before expressing or feeding. And this advice reflects a basic misunderstanding of how milk production works. Now, we have already learned that the fuller breasts become, the fuller the breast, the slower the milk production, because more milk out is more milk in. So if a mother is not producing enough milk, anyway, as to start off with, there could be many factors at play. And so it's not as simple as, yeah, just feed more and you'll make more. It's not as simple as that. So please, if you struggle with milk supply issues, see an IBCLC or your healthcare provider. Anyway, a mother, if you wait until your breasts are really full to express, you might be able to express a lot. Once or twice maybe, but if you keep on doing it, waiting for your breast to fill up before you express, the breast is going to react by producing less and less and less milk, because FIL is going to inhibit the breast milk production. Research do show that you can increase the production again simply by just feeding or expressing more often, a few times. I hope FIL makes sense. Now, talking about that, many mothers worry or wonder about breast size and its impact on breastfeeding. And some others might think that their breasts are too small to make enough milk. So, what do you think? Does size matter? Do you think large breasts will produce more than small breasts? So, the answer is small breasts and large breasts can both make plenty of milk. It is the fat and other tissue that gives the breast its shape and makes most of the difference between large and small breasts. So, unrelated to breast size, breast storage capacity is determined by the amount of room in a mother's milk making or glandular tissue. So, a mother's breast storage capacity refers to the maximum volume of milk that is available to the baby when the mother's breast is at its fullest. So think of storage capacity as a cup, not that the breasts are containers, they are factories, but just to explain storage capacity. You can easily drink a large amount of water throughout the day using any size of cup, so small, medium, large. But if you use a smaller cup, you will have to refill it more often. So most mothers have the capacity to produce much more milk than their babies need, though some mothers' breasts can hold up to 8 times more than another. But ultimately, the amount of milk produced in a day is as much from breasts from a smaller capacity as it is from breasts with a larger capacity. It's just babies of mothers with a smaller capacity may need to feed more often than babies of mothers with a more larger storage capacity. So it's unfair for this baby, whose mother has a smaller storage capacity, to tell their mother to only feed a prescribed amount of times, because that's going to mean the baby doesn't get enough milk. Also, it may be too much for the mother who has a larger storage capacity. It may be too much for that baby. So the takeaway message is that the size of a woman's breast does not affect her overall milk production. And one mother may store more than another, but both can make plenty of milk. The mother with a smaller storage capacity just need to feed more often. And the bottom line is you can drink the same amount of fluid over 24 hours. Whether you use a small or large cup, you just need to fill the small cup more often. So how full a mother's breasts are and the mother's storage capacity, those are some basic dynamics to determine her magic number of time each day that she needs to feed or remove milk from her breast to maintain her milk production and not let fill or feedback inhibitor of lactation decrease the supply because her breasts are now too full and she's waiting too long between feeding times. Okay, so hopefully you can start to see why we need to let babies feed as often as they want and not according to set rules. Right, so we have learned in the previous recordings that prolactin and oxytocin are important hormones in breastfeeding. We've learned that prolactin is the most important hormone for making milk. We've learned that without the oxytocin reflex, the baby is not going to get milk. We've learned that a breast that stays full will signal the body to produce less milk. We've learned that a baby's suckling and breast stimulation is important to keep the process going. And during the early weeks, the volume of milk the mother makes is adjusting to the baby's needs. So the supply is driven by the demand. And we'll talk about this in a later recording, that first month is a period of really hard work to build that milk supply. So if a baby would stop suckling from one breast, that breast will eventually stop making milk. If baby suckles more from the other breast, breast will make more milk. So we need to stimulate both sides throughout a 24-hour period. But it doesn't mean feeding both breasts at each feed. It depends on the baby. So let baby feed on one side until the baby is done. And if he wants the other one, offer it. If he doesn't, feed that one the next time. So we've also learned, what did we learn? That when there is a lot of product, either because there is less demand or because the baby cannot take it all out, if the breasts stay full, production will slow. And if there is a demand again, either the mother pumps or feed the baby more effectively, then production will, or the factories will produce again. So thank you for watching this recording. So after watching those 4 anatomy and physiology recordings, I hope you have a better understanding of where human milk is made, and how it gets from the mother's breast to the baby. And in the next recording, we will be looking at the impact of birth practices on breastfeeding. So what happens during birth and how can we get breastfeeding off to a good start? Please visit the Breastfeeding Clinic's page at breastfeedingsa.co.za if you would like to book a private consultation and receive the breastfeeding class notes. And you can also navigate the recordings easier from the website. And please feel free to subscribe to this channel for more breastfeeding class notes, and take care till next time.